I'm Tesiha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Monday, May the 12th, 2014. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is in Japan this week on a 4-day visit that will focus on increasing economic cooperation between Israel and Japan, as well as on diplomatic issues. Netanyahu met today with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and also met with members of the Israel-Japan Parliamentary Friendship League in Tokyo, where he stressed the common bonds the two countries share, as well as common threats, noting specifically the nuclear threat to Japan from North Korea and the nuclear threat to Israel from Iran. The Prime Minister's visit to Japan is the first there by an Israeli Prime Minister since Ehud Olmert's visit in 2008. Israel's President Shimon Peres is in Norway this week, where he was also expected to address the issue of the threat of a nuclear Iran, as well as other issues. Today he held meetings with his Norwegian counterpart, King Harald, together with other Norwegian and Israeli officials. Earlier in the day, the two presidents laid wreaths at the National Memorial for Norwegian Victims of World War II. Peres will meet tomorrow with Norwegian Prime Minister Erna Solberg. Peres arrived in the country yesterday and met last night with members of Norway's Jewish community at the historic Oslo Synagogue, where he told the crowd that he was still optimistic that peace between Israel and the Palestinians was possible. Peres said, "I believe the chances for peace are not lost, even though I am aware of the difficulties," saying that peace and a two-state solution was the only alternative for Israel and for the Palestinians, and told the crowd to never give up hope. This is the Israeli president's second-to-last trip before his presidential term ends this coming July. He will travel to the U.S. to meet with President Obama at the White House on June the 25th. Israel's intelligence agency announced yesterday that an attempt to kidnap Israeli soldiers was recently thwarted by the Shin Bet, Israel's security agency, and the Israel Prison Service. The kidnapping plot was orchestrated by two Palestinian terrorists who are serving time in an Israeli prison and were set to soon be released. According to the Shin Bet, Abed al-Rahman and Ottoman Wassim Zin ad-Din, who were jailed for their role in a 2006 shooting that killed an Israeli soldier, were trying to form a kidnapping cell which would abduct a soldier or soldiers with the help of additional security prisoners once they were released. There were several others involved in the plot, some of whom were recently released from Israeli prison. The plan reportedly was funded by Hamas. It was to abduct Israeli soldiers in the West Bank and then use them as bargaining chips for the release of other imprisoned Palestinian terrorists. Indictments against the men, 6 in total, were submitted yesterday to the Salem Military Court. A 64-year-old Israeli man was arrested by Israeli authorities at Ben Gurion Airport today at the request of U.S. authorities. The man is suspected of illegally selling embargoed military equipment to Iran. He was indicted in a U.S. federal court last year on charges that included exporting U.S. military equipment without a license, money laundering, and selling security equipment to the Islamic Republic. U.S. authorities were expected to file an extradition request within 60 days. The suspect, meanwhile, denies the allegations and said at his court hearing today that he had no idea an indictment was filed against him in the U.S. A Jewish and Muslim leader will accompany Pope Francis when the new pontiff visits Israel in a few weeks. Rabbi Abraham Skorka and Sheikh Omar Aboud will join the papal delegation when Pope Francis visits Jordan, Jerusalem, and Bethlehem from May the 24th through the 26th. The two leaders know and worked with the pontiff when he served as Archbishop of Buenos Aires. Omar Aboud is director of the Institute for Interreligious Dialogue in Buenos Aires and is a former Secretary General of the Islamic Center of Argentina. Skorka is rector of the Latin American Rabbinical Assembly in Buenos Aires. This will be the first time that a rabbi and a Muslim dignitary have been part of a papal delegation. The World Jewish Congress expressed their appreciation for Greek American leaders speaking out against the Greek neo-Nazi party Golden Dawn. The leaders responded to a call by the World Jewish Congress, which recently published an updated report on neo-Nazism in modern Europe, which highlights the dangers of the Golden Dawn parties and similar movements. World Jewish Congress President Ronald Lauder said, "We thank these Greek American leaders for their strong stand against Golden Dawn, which is little known in America but a looming problem in Greece." He said, "We hope their words will influence Greek citizens to reject this hateful extremist party." Among the elected Greek American leaders who stepped forward include Republican Representative from Florida Gus Bilirakis, Democratic Representative from Maryland John Sarbanes, and Nevada Democrat Dina Titus. Also New York Democratic Senator Michael Gianaris and Republican Senator Dean Skelos, among others. The World Jewish Congress has urged the Greek government to crack down on the Golden Dawn Party and put into place laws against hate speech. Lauder said support from the Greek American leaders encourages other Greek Americans to add their voices as well. For the first time in Israel, women were allowed to take the ordination exams, allowing them to become kashrut or kosher food supervisors. 9 women took the test this past Wednesday after a high court petition filed not long ago by Emunah, a national religious women's organization demanding that the rabbinate in Israel recognize the movement's kashrut supervision course and allow its graduates to take the exam. The court had asked new Chief Ashkenazi Rabbi David Lau to offer his opinion on the matter when he took office last year, and Lau had said that there was no halachic or Jewish law barrier to prevent the women from taking the test. If they pass, they will be able to work as kashrut supervisors on behalf of local rabbinate offices across Israel. A ceremony was held yesterday at Jerusalem's Mount Herzl to mark the 154th birthday of Theodor Herzl, known in Hebrew as Chozeh HaMedina, or Visionary of the State of Israel, considered the father of modern Zionism. At the ceremony, Director of the Israel Office of the Zionist Organization of America, Jeff Daub, discussed the challenges facing Zionism today. Daub also said that while Israel has realized Herzl's vision of the restoration of the Jewish state, Herzl's vision of Jewish unity still had a long way to go. He said, "We have not realized his mandate that we are one people. We may not realize it completely, but we must strive for Jewish unity, to see ourselves as one people, because that's how he wanted us to see ourselves," adding that Israel is a microcosm of the Jewish people and must set an example for the diaspora. Looking now at some entertainment news, New York Times best-selling novel The Red Tent by Jewish author Anita Diamond is being made into a 4-hour miniseries by the Lifetime television network. The book explores the life of women in the Bible. It will star Deborah Winger, Minnie Driver, Morena Baccarin, and Rebecca Ferguson, who plays the central character of Dinah. Filming begins this month in Morocco. The miniseries is set for broadcast later this year. And 1970s hit band America will be making its Israel debut this summer. America's original members Jerry Beckley and Dewey Bunnell will perform such hits as Horse with No Name and Sister Golden Hair at the Ra'anana Amphipark on August the 7th.
Just as you wouldn't have mashed potatoes.
And looking now to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Monday, May the 12th, a new segment of The Wisdom of Dr. Ruth Westheimer is coming up at 7 o'clock. At 7:30, Jewish television producer Leonard Goldberg talks to Mark Golub about his current drama on CBS, Blue Bloods. And at 8 o'clock, director of the Contemporary Jewish Life Department of the American Jewish Committee, Stephen Boehm, talks about American Jewry. And at 9 o'clock, part 1 of a meeting with Rabbi Uri Regev, president of Chidush, an Israeli organization that promotes religious equality in Israel. That's all coming up tonight on Shalom TV and shalomtv.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update from Monday, May the 12th, 2014. I'm Tesiha Bader.